Проверка звука, проверка звука, проверка звука. Все, отлично. Всех приветствую, дамы и господа. Начинаем трансляцию. Продолжаем проходить вампира и, соответственно, на чем мы остановились. Тем не менее, пока что вампир загружается. На чем мы остановились? Мы остановились на том, что практически выполнили все, что связано с госпиталем. Ну, практически там осталось некоторые вещи доделать еще, но это связано с тем, что левел изрядно большеват, и мы не можем там что-то сделать, связанное с лагерем в лагере охотников на вампиров. Так, и, соответственно, надо пока что подождать, ничего не остается. Вампир, звук есть, изображение есть, звук меня есть. С картинкой, в принципе, все хорошо. Так, ну что, начинаем. Начинаем. Всем приятного аппетита, дамы и господа, кто потребляет сейчас пищу. И приятного просмотра, естественно. Так, чё к чему? Погнали. Континуя. Суть какова? Я так понял, что относительно основного задания мы должны найти кого-то, кто занимается каким-то шпионажем в этом госпитале по типу поставки какой-то определенной информации. Вот. Поэтому вот с этим заданием... Блин, я не знаю, какой сейчас левел? Левел 10, да, на этом 9 вроде бы. 9 левел. Слушайте, давайте попытаемся, что ли. Давайте просто попытаемся, но... Я не знаю, что из этого получится. В принципе, мы можем сделать... Тихо. Слушайте, я понял, кажется, тут немножко эту тактику вот этого боя всего. Кажись, осознал. Скажем так. Это мы уже читали. Мусорка. Мусорка, в смысле, мусорка. Тихо, тихо, тихо. Выйди отсюда. Не надо спать пока что. Так, допустим. Это еще одно убежище я тут нашел в итоге. Крыса? Когда тварь 18 левела. Тихо. Так я ж поменял таргет. Так, тихо. Не просто было. Стоп, вернись. Я лут хочу подобрать. Мусорка. Знаете, вот мусорка здесь одно из самых привлекательных места в итоге. Только лута можно туда взять. Блин, опасно. Так, есть что-то, что можно облутать? И... Так, стоп. Как я понял, нужно зайти сюда. Нет, стоп, не сюда. Нужно зайти на второй этаж. А там... О, стоп. Вот смотрите, дверь. Не? Не то. Не то. А как тогда... Пишет этаж повыше, а я лестницы не вижу. Так, стоп, что-то я недопонимаю. 7, 6, 5, А, стоп, вот. Все, ладно. Упанул, молясь. А куда я смотрел? Ага. А точно ли не было здесь стены какой-то? Семнадцатый левел. Report about Pembroke, 2nd November, from Scott Louis Cagney to Mr. Geoffrey McCullum. Object: Pembroke Hospital survey vampire activity. Sir, having observed the Pembroke Hospital for 2 weeks now, and we can confirm vampire activity there. First, we now have proof of the presence of a female leech inside the hospital. This is clever. She's act like a mental patient to hide her true and holy condition. I personally sneaked inside the hospital and heard the creature whining about her need for blood since her body is decaying. But it gets worse. The administrator of the Pembroke Hospital is Dr. Swansea, according to our team leader Amanda Tilton, who died yesterday in fighting against a skull by the canal. He may a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. If that's true, then there may be something big going on at the Pembroke. Maybe even a nest of vampires, protected by those bloody traitors of the stall. We don't know what to do, but we are convinced you better come quickly with reinforcements and heavy gear. То есть они, получается, поверили в то, что она вампир. Опа, стоп, тихо, деталис. В смысле? Я читать хотел. Так, стоп, а что мне выпало-то? Guard of Priven. Это вроде было. Стоп, а что выпало-то? Или это... Блин, вот это вот я не люблю эту фигню, потому что порой вот здесь вот еще что-то может быть. А вот это, кстати, письма вроде я не читал. Блин, а как называлось это письмо? Оно так быстро уходит. Use province take. Ну, блин, мне так нравится, типа, details. Я нажимаю эту кнопку, и меня не переносит к этому. 15, это 18. Нет, это уже апнутая получается. Reassured Thelma Crawford about the spices. Так, тогда в этом районе все плохо, да, как я понимаю? И я, как всегда, путаюсь немного в этом. Guard of Priven. Так. Small Mobile Patrols это я читал, значит. Origin Vampires это я читал. Да. Это я точно читал. И Great Hunt. Это вроде я тоже читал. Значит, письмо, оно, скорее всего, где-то вот здесь вот хранится. Report about Pembroke. Тут, наверное, сейчас. Godswick Medical File. Bloody Diary. Нет, слушайте, наверное, все-таки вот этот. Нет, это я читал. А было что-то еще ж ведь, не? Бля, вот это я все, я потерял. Потому что я сейчас, ну, не особо хочу это искать. Что читал, что не читал. Так, это не то. А давайте тогда так сделаю. Сейчас. На всякий случай, чтобы если какие-то намеки вдруг я не раскрыл, чтобы они появились. Потому что вроде бы... Это разве что вот в этих моментах я еще, может быть, где-то смог что-то пропустить. Но, как видно, нет. Окей. Я иду в правильном направлении, как таковом. В принципе, мне не говорят убивать этого скала, я и не особо хочу. Погнали отсюда. Ребенок где-то плачет. Это, видимо, раз в день будет такое появляться. И Тельма вот здесь вот. Блин.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
Nobody searching for you. Это типа я отвечу, что... За вами никто не охотится, все такое, да? А it was misunderstanding, типа я расскажу, что это было недоразумение, типа они подумали, что вы вампир, но она типа считает себя вампиром. И... Ну, скажу как есть, не знаю.
These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you.
Блин.
I'll keep that proposition in mind.
Есть еще какие-то персональные Нет, да?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I wish I could be sick again.
Так, ну смотрите, какая ситуация. Немножко опыта получили, и... что получается? Тут все выполнено. Остается только идти по основному квесту, как таковому. Ну, давайте глянем, что можно улучшить. Во-первых, вот это. Простуда, скорее всего. Бронхиальные какие-то заболевания и пневмония. Можно, в принципе, скрафтить эту штуку, потом... ага, понял. Можно скрафтить от этого, от колда. Не выбрасывать же все это. И получается... надо глянуть, можно ли что-то купить сейчас у этого чела. Я забыл, как его зовут. Это быстрее всего можно сделать вроде вот тут, спрыгнув. Это не лутается.
still trying to save lives?
I'd like to...
Wise choice.
Так, ну давайте купим. Вот так вот. И я сейчас тогда еще раз зайду в... как называется? Зайду в верстак и просто гляну, что конкретно нужно. Нужна ручка и пластина. Плита, пластина. Ну, я, в принципе, купил и то, но это так, на будущее вдруг пригодится. И будет, получается, что там? Алюминиум павдер нужно купить. Это опять стамина, компрушен и... absorb blood points when the weapon hits. То есть расширение механики. Ну, стамина consumption, в принципе, я бы вкачал. Дамаг он и так повысится в теории, да? Да. Не то чтобы это прям было очень важно, в любом случае. Так. Ну чё? Погнали по основному квесту пройдемся все-таки. На нижнем этаже 23 метра там где-то. Chapeau, Royal Garden, all better. Light Fetch, Present Stories, Fetch as Chapeau. Какой-то, наверное, французский спектакль. Small bag of junk. Что такое junk? A high to resale value. This item can be recycled into component. Можно переработать, а можно, получается, и продать. Ладно.
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please calm down.
Please calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
А с ней как вообще там переговорить можно?
Greetings. How do we feel?
Oh, again? Waking a poor old woman in her sleep? There isn't a poor life needs saving somewhere?
Now, I need to ask you a few simple questions.
Well, if you really must.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Surely it's not that bad.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
Так, стоп, у нее, она сказала, что у нее там стоп, не, подождите, у нее там какие-то боли, а с какого она района? А с какого она района и где она находится? Или типа ее лечить не надо? Просто она же там что-то жаловалась, что у нее там что-то там этот. Ну ладно, окей.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Так, стоп, секунду. Пипа Хокинс, стоп. Find Nurse Пипа Хокинс. Это же она, не?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Странная штука, ладно.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Понял, ладно.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
А почему она на меня смотрит-то? Найдите Дороти Грейн. Дороти Грейн-то, которая, получается... А что я там найду-то? Activate your senses, citizen behavior понял. Вот она, Дороти.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Retrieve the thug in the service. Мне же сюда и надо по факту идти. Сивис, может быть, читается, не знаю. Retrieve the thug. Открываем дверь, идем ниже. Тут я вижу только одного противника на данный момент. В принципе, я там прокачался кое-как, плюс-минус.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Стоп, это... понял. Это можно двумя путями пойти, да? А там нет ничего, да, такого? Не, все-таки я не зря вернулся. Окей, хорошо, допустим. Хорошо. Citizens to save, careful the engaged citizen may not survive. Да я моя.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Хедаш. У меня такого нет лекарства. Его можно съесть даже. Кто это? Откуда ты? Это брат, получается. Что-то у него с мозгом. You rescue the citizen, he'll tune to his discreet the following night. Все, иди отсюда. И то есть вы хотите сказать, я мог не успеть? Вот, то есть я реально мог не успеть это сделать? Или типа я не туда пошел изначально? Так, собираем всякий хлам, потому что это важно. И в дальнейшем может пригодиться. Зеленая дубинка, то есть получается оружие сразу второго левела. Допустим. Так, и в принципе я возвращаюсь туда, куда мне нужно идти. Наверное, точнее, мне нужно сюда идти, я пока не уверен. Значит, искать нужно обход, я понял. Так, крыса. И смотрите, это какая-то арена, я просто не знаю. Мне это немножко напрягает, кстати. Ух, ебать, ты шо. Какой-то лев вообще, я не знаю, типа. Бля, это плохо. А в смысле-то? Так, допустим.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Search the thug Так, ладно, секунду. Newscrane's Vulture. If you are sick, if you have no money, wherever you are, wherever you're from, come see Dorothy to get help. No tricks, no charges, no questions asked. Just find Doris Petrescu's house and present this coupon. Это на либо французский, я не знаю, может латынь?
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Так, это все, да? Concerning the Brotherhood of St. Paul's store, I would advise our member to be wary about these so-called scorals. It is shorals. Не знаю, как правильно произнести в данном случае. Yes, indeed. Most of them are always affable and respectful whenever they approach us, but it would be quite unwise for a district circle like the Escalon Club to foolishly speak about our goals, our members of our traditions. I also would like to remind our fellow member that the Brotherhood itself is ancient enough to have some mysterious traditions. One of them, according to some informants, could be the ritual of the so-called Band of the Dragon. Okay, it seems that it's certain condition where the Brotherhood of St. Paul find a violent or bloodthirsty mortal, they call upon him this ban. What's it exactly? I don't know, does it really exist? I don't know for sure either, but what I've established as facts is that whenever a hostile of vindicated vampire has threatened London, is disappeared without a trace after the Brotherhood pronounced a ban upon him. The loyal Fergal Benshaw himself has never been foolish enough to openly provoke the Brotherhood. This is a lesson we must all remember and never be considered a dragon by the Brotherhood, from the law of Ascalon by Lord Regrave Founder. Brotherhood St. Paul's store.
Despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ну, не людей же жрать все-таки. Так, все-таки мы можем выйти, получается. А что дальше-то? Это то место, откуда зашли мы отсюда, да? Угу. Дверь теперь это открыта, можно сюда спокойно заходить. Так, секунду. Плейкок здесь, а где вот этот вот брат? Какого там? Что-то новое расскажешь? Бухает он тут.
Hey, Doc.
Понял.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
И куда это меня направляют теперь? Reach Whitechapel. Типа обыщите, достигните, точнее, Whitechapel. Район такой, ага. Мерчант. Так, стоп, сейчас, секунду, тогда... Так. У тебя проблемы с головой, а ну-ка. Я вообще могу потенциально хотя бы скрафтить подобное лекарство? Нет, от мозгов у меня пока ничего нет. Погнали тогда. Тут я зачищал все, поэтому ничего такого вроде быть не должно. Отхиляюсь сейчас за счет него немного. Опа. Образец крови. Нормально. Так, тихо. А что ты делаешь-то? Задоджил или нет? Не знаю. Роджер стена. Это типа мини-босс какой-то такой выходит. Тихо. Моя. Ух, опасно. О, плиты дали как раз таки. А там нужно было 6. А у нас не 6. Там у нас 5, скорее всего, сейчас этих ручек. Ух, ебать, ты шо? А ничего, что у вас в 2 метрах, блядь, здесь? Чудовище. Тихо. Я ж этот ушел-то. Я нажал кнопку. Допустим. Нормально. Успел. Тут, благо, еще нет такой механики, что там оружие может поломаться, там еще что-то. Это мне больше нравится в некотором плане, потому что я могу хотя бы нормально драться. Без того, что париться насчет восстановления прочности. Так, ладно, я пока сюда не пойду, ибо не по квесту. А по квесту сюда.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Допустим. Would you like to know more? Your army needs huge and the ones today. Would you like to know more? Ask at your nearest recruiting office. Это все, это еще эти осталось с этого, с Первой мировой, наверное. Почему я бегать не могу? Так, подождите, я мусорку еще не облутал.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
What you did was... Maybe you confused you with someone else. Maybe he confused you with someone else. Or did you... Inexecutable. Чё вообще ответить? Я не понял. Я сути диалога не понял.
Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drop.
Стоп, сейчас, секунду. А, ладно, окей.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Sort of bloody joke.
Бенджамин Палмер.
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see, long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Печально.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Сын украл таблетки.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Ну так-то да. Тут сложновато без лекарств, наверное, ему уже.
Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Так, тут я спросил, тут я спросил.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Так, стоп, допустим. Find the talk, Darius. А куда, стоп, куда идти, что делать? Find to talk to Darius Pet. Так, стоп, Darius Pet. А, все, вот, появилось. Нам сюда, да? Да. Так, этот по мусоркам шарит. Ищет таблетки, возможно, кстати.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Сейчас, секунду,
Is
ну-ка.
there anyone I...
Cadogan Bates, without a
Cadogan
doubt.
Bates.
The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ага, понял, все, Катаган Бейтс. Персональные квестины пока мы ее не знаем, чтобы задавать, а
Do
ну-ка.
you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Так, ладно, вот с этим пока попозже. С этим пока попозже, потому что я не знаю, что мне нужно купить и что мне нужно продать. Так, стоит, торгует, короче. Окей, допустим. Стоп, а ты у нас ментально болен, да? Мигрени. Понял. А у этого фатигу, кстати, фатигу, я ж могу его вылечить по факту.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
I'm not your boy.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Давайте дадим медицину.
Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Do you need assistance?
I'm all right, but if you fancy giving me the medication, I can put it to good use.
Goodbye, young man.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Так, это, короче, на рекаверинге. Ну, просто в данном случае я могу помочь. Вот, что касается мигрени, не могу помочь. А она здоровая. Мусорка.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
По сути, нужно тогда где-то сейчас обойти. Вот сейчас тихо. А ну-ка, подсматриваем.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Дариус right arm for Dorothy Crane. Правая рука Дороти Крейн. И у него бронхитис. 40% потери от количества, quality, качества крови. Извиняюсь. Так, ну одного пока что можно вылечить. Вот с этим еще бронхитом. Тем не менее, кстати, что получается? Сейчас. Вот здесь вот. Я вот больше про эту вкладку. Здесь ничего, но здесь пока ничего не появилось. Ага. У этого проблемы с головой, но я не могу пока что ничего с этим сделать. И получается, у этого легкие, но я пока не могу с ним поговорить. Ну, допустим, ладно. Делаю пока что могу, как доктор. Нихуя, чел, вот эта иконка, конечно.
Please take a browse of my wares. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse. How is business around here? Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day. I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation. It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all. As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently? Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing.
Violence is increasing in the borough. Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that. Where did this happen? Why did you go there? In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
Have you been hurt? No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming. Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane? Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
She's just trying to help. Excellent news.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain? Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told. That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much. Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Допустим.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Да, кстати, что ты нынче продаешь? Мне нужно вроде бы одна такая штука. Вот. И это я могу продать, наверное. Ладно, пока не буду. Стоп, а где второй? Вот этот чел. Вот. Стоп, а мне плита что еще нужна? А ты плиту не продаешь, да? Эх ты. Он продает как медицинские вещи, так и Ага. Так, у меня таких 6 штук, а плита... И их нужно было сколько? 4 или 3? Потому что если 3, то я уже могу апнуть меч. А не 6 ли штук такого надо было? Ладно, куплю тогда еще одну на всякий случай. В принципе, мне не критично.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Do you enjoy bullying people?
How did you become the local bully everyone is
Сейчас
afraid of,
извиняюсь.
Joe?
There's no pride in roughing
Ой.
up poor bastards.
Все.
But this is the only job I found. And it pays well too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Он и так знает, что он криминал. He could have refused. Не знаю.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Так, ну допустим, мы познакомились с двумя, наверное, замечательными людьми, да. Вот. Немножко почему-то, кстати, от переключений как будто подлагивает немного и не подгружается менюшка с людишками. Так. Мы познакомились, получается, с двумя чувачками. Это, получается, Джо Питерсон и Барретт Льюис. Неплохо. Тут священник еще какой-то будет, судя по всему. Так. Хайдаут. Знаете, я бы в этот хайдаут бы зашел. В смысле? В смысле?
It's locked, all right.
Это потому что я типа выполняю основное задание, что ли? Так, меня никто не видит вроде. А, я не могу использовать пока что эти умения вампира. Ладно, окей. Стоп, а как мне тогда, не имея доступа к инвентарю, узнать то, что я мог бы скрафтить, например? Тоже вариант. Вариант, который я не могу решить. Я бы, может, некоторые вещи бы попродавал. Двуручная дубина, 110 дамага. Это священник, как раз, который я еще только что упоминал.
Is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Dorothy was a clandestine resistant of her homeland. Clandestine. Окей. Так.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I only believe in facts.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists.
Quite a...
But you...
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Допустим.
And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
I'm more lost than you thought. А ну-ка.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
But where do you put the limit? Is this is 20th century, типа 20 век, 20th, 20 век. Не знаю, можно ли искать, but where do you put the limit?
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, Go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you think?
All scientists are
Quite a...
well, you
Well, what do you...
be
Так, стоп, это я... А ну-ка.
I have heard enough. Goodbye.
Стоп, а с ним это, можно еще там что-то поговорить?
Father Whittaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I send Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Так, допустим, хорошо. Так, все, мы, в принципе, с ним поговорили, какие-то хинты получили. Вот, стоп, секунду, ну-ка. Ща.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
I've been touched by God's grace. I am perfectly healthy.
Ну, в принципе, healthy, да, то есть, как бы, не приебешься в данном случае. В принципе, не приебешься в натуре. Здоровый, как здоровый человек.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Your investigation about the underground medical dispensary. Personal question, пока мне нечего ему задавать, понятное дело. Давайте сдалека начнем. Ебать тут сдалека начинать. No newspapers speak about the epidemic.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's only logical, it's a disgrace. Disgrace, как это вообще? Grace это слава, disgrace это типа бесславно, криминально. It's only logical. Это только логично. Не знаю, ладно.
Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Допустим, ладно. What are you doing here after sunset?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
You risk life to reveal the truth.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
I'm not afraid of getting out at night.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Ладно.
Science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Так, короче, персональных пока нет, так мы с ним поговорили. Давайте поговорим о подземном медицинском диспансере
I
каком-то.
heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
A nurse I know is compromised. I care about public health. Допустим
I'm a
так.
doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Так, еще нужно поговорить с кем-то за церковью, хорошо. Так, не тот стик.
Never goes out.
No, a few days ago he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Угу. Хорошо, допустим.
Farewell.
Вопрос таков, кстати. Вот это ж церковь, да? В принципе, так и есть. Мне как-то неплохо рядом с ней гулять, в плане того, что... Ну, если им нормально, то, в принципе, значит, и мне должно быть, ладно. Бля, пиздец. Да что такое? Ты можешь ударить-то? Я нажал на уворот, он не сработал. Допустим. Про образцы крови нахожу я, в принципе. Тут туда не пройдешь. Quarantine, keep out this area by order Board of Health. Окей. Так, вот есть челик какой-то.
Oh, Camellia, the silent flower of Whitechapel, an angel made flesh, I tell you.
Так, давайте поговорим с ним. Там сундук вроде еще можно взять. Ну и лицо, конечно, у него.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Так, personal question. Стоп. Why you seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why Why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think a little morbid? Do you have an explains?
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Camellia. Afraid to find the truth about her.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Так, do you have an explains?
Exactly.
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Допустим.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Ну и фантазер, ё-моё.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Так, ладно, окей, допустим.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Not afraid of the
Are
epidemic.
you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
You should avoid
If you
expose.
say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Немножко такая творческая душа.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Допустим. Thoughts on the situation in
What are
London?
your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Quite a unique point of view. I only see this place
Yes. The enjoyable silence of perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Так, допустим. Тут я с ним поговорил, персонале я до этот тут поговорил, все. Так, допустим, хорошо. А тут что-то мигало вроде, не? Или мигало... Не, значит мне показалось. Хорошо. А вот это не показалось. Так, и теперь где-то в этой части нужно найти еще одного какого-то человечка. Скорее всего, это Камелия. Вот она. А в церковь меня не пустят. Да и, скорее всего, мне туда заходить и не надо. Письмецо. Editor of refusal letter. Psychophant Publishing Limited. Cavender Court, Camden Street, London. Dear Mr. Nethercott, наверное, как-то так. Thank you for the setting your book of the poems sung from the defeated city, which we found is interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change our little and since you still refuse to change our title and demand the full publication of your work, I'm sorry to announce you that Psychofunk Publishing choose a second option. With kindest regards, Morris. In the terrible times country facing, you must understand that such title would be totally... то есть получается, мистер Низеркот, получается, подал в, как называется, публикационную вот это вот издание, короче, какое-то. Вот, а они из-за того, что из-за там какой-то ситуации в стране решили поменять название. Ага. А я могу с ним поговорить, значит, где он? Понял. Что я его потерял немного.
Scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Don't seem as suffer from property. A rich artist is rare. You should do something more useful. You don't seem to suffer from poverty. Property. Сейчас, секунду, стоп, проверьте. Это бедность. Вы не ну-ка.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Понятно.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Вот какая ситуация получается. Так, подождите, это кто у нас за челик? Это вот этот челик. Treatment for cold. Простуда у него, да? Получается, Ричард видит Камелию как его музу и закрытую загадку. Ричард чувствует great about depending on his parents' financial support. И получается, Richard has never succeeded in poetry. А я могу его, кстати, вылечить?
Good evening. Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something, but I don't feel like I should.
Стоп, секунду. У меня есть одно от такого. Ну давайте ему дадим. Не знаю.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health, but I appreciate your concern, sir.
Еще, кстати, один хинт можно где-то раскрыть. Точнее, персонал. Штуку вот эту всю. Так, стоп, секунду. Этот бронхитис у меня пока нет, этого колд я вылечил. Кто-то еще ж был колд, не? Кто-то колд. Фатигуя. А у меня ж есть от фатигуя. Вроде одна штука еще должна быть. Это нужно вернуться вот сюда.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Так, отлично.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Так, отлично. Так, еще женщина какая-то.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
Так, я, кажется, знаю, откуда она. Возможно.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Это типа была шутка в шутке какая-то или... Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Так, персоналии я прошел, потом жизнь в Лондоне.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Your line of work has many health risks.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
What about your clients?
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
About Clayton Darby's investigation.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time. until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Понял.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Румыния. Интересно.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Так, хорошо, допустим. Она чем? Фатигуи. А у меня от фатигуи вроде уже лекарства закончились, да? Насколько я помню. Да, надо крафтить. Стоп, а для чего я могу сюда подняться? Какой-то плюха какая-то, сундук там, я не знаю. Может быть, в дальнейшем здесь можно кого-то подслушать, что-то такое сделать, поэтому существует здесь подобная шняга. Карантин. Держитесь подальше от этого места. Куда люди исчезают? А, понял.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Нанимая, получается, да? Camellia is like Muse who sees Pocket Mystery. 3500 опыта, кстати. Кристина Попа. Камелия. 5-й левел, нифига себе.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Типа, она ничего не ответит. Как бы.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Это типа рофл какой-то. Жесть. Так, секунду. А что нужно? Так, ладно. A flower bouquet. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Camilla secretly distributes medical vouchers for Dorably Crane's dispensary. Она знает про Dorably Crane. Возможно, она может как-то нам быть полезна в этом плане. Но тут я не особо уверен. Угу. Stop. Doris Petrescu letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I'm so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult, I know. It may sound selfish, but silly. when you, my children, are still living in country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England, in a war against poverty, against injustice. Is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. It will be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darling. My darlings. You are grown up now and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren's for me, and remember that you, Father, loves you all the way from this cold, damn country. I'm as ever you loving father, Darius Petrescu.
This letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Так. Так, давайте поторгуем с ним. Что? Ну, давайте все-таки, может, продадим. О том, что вообще здесь можно еще продать. За 16, за 18, за 12, за 4, за 14, 10, 16, 4. Ну, продавать пока не вижу смысла. То, что у него можно купить... А я не помню. Ладно, короче, надо будет потом сходить. Узнать там для фатигуя. Вообще, каких нужно вылечить? Пока вроде бы бронхитис я могу вылечить. Вроде бы я могу вылечить фатигуя. А вот с головушкой я как бы тут пока что бессилен. Надо еще так, знаете, наверх посматривать немного. В плане того, что... А может быть... А, я ж пока не могу сходить в убежище, да?
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Let's have a man-to-man talk.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Так, ну, как бы, хрен ли нет, как говорится, да? Лежит и лежит слишком плохо, по факту. Ух ты ж. Так, а как прочитать? В смысле, а как оно называлось-то? Почему я нажимаю на... Ладно. Это тут не продумано. не продумано немного, что я могу находиться в режиме вампира и попытаться прочитать записку. The antique figure of the Vrykolakas. Of my many journeys, I believe I was most amazed by my exploration of the Mediterranean isles, and particularly the island of Santorini. Researching for traces of empire presence in these sunburned lands. Herodotus himself refers to the island in this fourth book, and I am personally convinced that there are many mysteries to be unveiled in this part of the underworld. Who know that even today the island in Santorini is still considered by some of the most vampire-infested place in the world, way more than the Carpathians, and that is its inhabitants are considered as specialists of the vampire hunt, or the hunt of Vrykolakas, as they call this creature. According to the local myth, the Vrykolakas is dead person who does not decay and who can show a vermilion complexion as long as he is gorged with fresh blood. He cannot enter a house without knocking and getting a response. Garlic makes him flee. He doesn't consume under the sun, but his skin blackens. He can charge into wolf and other animals. What struck me the most is that the same name exists, with small variation from Mediterranean Sea to the Balkans. The Greeks called him the Vrykolakas, the Bulgarians and the Macedonians named him Varkolak or Varkolak. Varkolak or Varkolak. Как это разница в произношении, интересно. The Serbians call him Vukodlak. Yes, Vukodlak, a name so similar to the Vulkod. We already know, my dear brothers. Just to write in a few words to gives me shivers. I am personally convinced that we are here comforted to some of proto-vampire. Maybe there is a missing link between the modern vampire and the creatures that came before them. God allows me enough time. I wish one day to go back to Santorini Island and find the trail of his antique and forgotten figure. From Drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Asher Turley, Primate of St. Paul. Интересно. Так, сейчас, секунду, там часом... Это я читал.
It's locked, all right.
Так, знаете, чисто мимо прошел и полхаты уже того.
To talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about your political past.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane.
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her
Are
safety?
you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Progescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family.
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Okay.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia.
I do not...
Так, стоп, секунду.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Стоп, а
Tell
почему...
me everything.
Почему здесь, типа... Ладно. Погнали тогда дальше. Не знаю почему. Так. Это я отсюда зашел, там я погулял, и мне, соответственно, нужно вот сюда. Здесь лутать нечего. Это такой очень долгий квест основной, я так понимаю. Различные медицинские штучки. Нормально, сойдет. Опа, стоп. Сундучок. Неплохо. Че я раньше его не увидел, интересно. Ща, погодьте, погодьте.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily, high fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain, diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort, liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Anything else I should know?
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
Конвульсии это не...
Convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel. Hand me that scalpel.
What can I do, doctor?
I must perform the tracheostomy. Do we have any anesthetics? Анестезию.
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, doctor, none at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
What would you suggest? Не знаю.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, doctor. He's still bleeding, doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, doctor?
I can't see.
I must suture the artery. Let me finish alone. Не знаю.
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, doctor.
Cardiac massage, now.
Бля, я не доктор, я не знаю, что тыкать.
Are you making this up as you go along?
Ай-яй-яй, слишком громко.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, doctor.
Yes, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No, there was something more vile in these reactions, something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
А его и так нельзя было спасти, да? То есть, типа... То есть, как бы я ни старался, я бы его не спас, получается. Или как вообще?
It's locked.
This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reed. You shouldn't be here.
Confront.
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
You can't carry on with this. I've come to stop the blackmail.
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Why target Lady Ashbury?
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right, but that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Why not trust Dr. Swansea?
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
The end justifies the means.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Spare, I look away, but you're a sign charm. You will forget all about this. Embrace. I'm ending with this right now. I look away, but you resign. Charm. You will forget all about this. Я не знаю. Типа мы как бы у нас есть доступность вот этого, и вы забудете все об этом всем. Не знаю. И так, наверное.
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed, that sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then?
No, just a privileged client. My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor. Good customers are always welcome.
Yes, Nurse Crane. We have a deal.
Ачивка называется «Интервью с вампиром». You citizens available to kill. Так у меня же не... А, я типа могу ее прибить. Наверное.
It's locked, all right.
У меня второй левел, оказывается. Так, что такое? Дурь какая-то. Да пришли сюда, чё пришли? Тут люди умирают. А я моя. Ай-яй. Ага, понял. Ладно. Допустим. Стоп, а как они сюда пробрались-то в целом? К деду зайдем? Он живой вообще? Он этот живой, не? То есть как бы... Странно, почему как-то новых диалогов с ним нет после такого. Тут же визит, получается, был этих охотников на вампиров все-таки. Дороти Крейн. Стоп, я могу же по факту дойти до укрытия или нет? Дадут ли мне это сделать? Так, стоп, мне нужно вот сюда побежать, да. Что за бред-то? Ну ладно, окей. Крысы. Крысы. Окей, понял. Итак, сейчас получается это напрямо и направо до моста. Допустим. И где-то здесь у меня есть убежище. Так, допустим, хорошо, мне нужно... Так, во-первых, я вот это хочу еще глянуть. Одной плиты не хватает. Блин. Что мне нужно как таковое? Это получается один патигуэ Бронхитис. Один фатигу, один бронхитис, но с мигренями тут посложнее. Так, один фатигу я могу сделать. Колд, один бронхитис. Допустим. Анемия пока не могу. Пневмония даже. Могу сделать, получается. Хорошо. Хорошо. Так, следы крови какие-то появились. Ой, нахуй, это что такое, блять, вообще? Тихо. Да тихо ты, уйди. Уйди, тихо. Восстановим немного крови. Да ё-моё, да тихо ты. Два брата, акробата. Ай-яй, тихо. Откуда вы там вылезаете, е-мое? Ух ты ж. Иди сюда. Вот это нежданчик. Вот еще нежданчик мне устроили. Где-то два брата-акробата пришли ко мне. Ладно, окей, погнали дальше. Надо уже заканчивать с этим квестом. Нежданчик.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
He trusted you. In the end, you are killer. Compassion only hides your Я не... Подожди. Compassion only hides your appetite. Не знаю.
true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
No need to apologize, we're vampires after all. Не знаю.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter, his cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
I must confess I have not put an end to the blackmail, my lady. Unfortunately, I could not bring myself to do it.
I'm so disappointed in you, Jonathan. I didn't expect this from you.
Lady Ashbury, you yourself admitted how ridiculous the sum of money was. I can assure you it was all used for charitable ends.
Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you, Jonathan? All right, say I trust you, but you will still pay the ransom. That is only fair. After all, it was you who failed to bring this problem to a satisfactory conclusion.
I believe I could agree to that.
And since a lady always keeps her promises, I will now answer any questions you may have.
About your ladyship.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
Допустим.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Scowl?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
How old are you?
This is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
This is not true.
Very well, but I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Допустим.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
Mm-hmm.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Допустим.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Хорошо, about London.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
How many vampires are in London?
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they be
Will
friendly?
be as affable as you, my lady.
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
I met some vampires hunters.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society. And like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
I bid you farewell, for now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Хорошо, допустим. В принципе, интересный диалог. Что-то мы узнали.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Так. Вот так вот. Increase the stamina regeneration. Ага. Допустим. Сепсис. Я слышал такое, но я не знаю, что это. Потассиум перманганат. Перманганат фосфора, что ли? Ладно.
Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Давайте с ним поговорим. Так, тут лутать нечего.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Ну, допустим, не знаю.
Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here, but it is spreading and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
I have thought about it. I may turn London into my realm.
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
Стоп, секунду.
I need to talk to you, Edgar.
Please do so.
А ну-ка.
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Prewen. Zealots to the last man.
Where do they come from?
Спаунится.
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention, but they concluded vampires were a scourge.
Так, а ну-ка.
Definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
Nurse Crane will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
She blackmailed Lady Ashbury. I ask for resignation.
Perhaps too capable. Nurse Crane also ran an illicit dispensary in Whitechapel. I had to ask for her resignation.
I see. Well, we'll just have to manage without her assistance.
We'll talk later.
Так. Чё к чему? У нас имеется 4500 опыта. В принципе, можем потратить это в более полезное русло, чем обычно. Давайте апнемся, что ли? Типа сейчас особо делать нечего. Damage inflicted. Damage inflicted when using bite in combat. Blood capacity, в принципе, можно прокачать. Life regeneration. Стоит дороже, но и наносит немного больше. Ладно, я пока с этим повременю. Inflicted. Что такое inflicted? Нанесенный урон. А это же бесполезно качать, не? Хотя... стоп, а чтобы апнуться дальше, нам требуется 600. Тут 3, тут 3, тут 3. Тут 3 прокачано. Тут прокачано 3, тут прокачано 4. Так, ну, наверное, пока что так. Надо статы качать в любом случае. А вот это вот ультимейты я не знаю. Так, ну пока что конфирм в любом случае. Fertile police raids in Whitechapel. As of late, the rumors that surrounded Whitechapel are ripping into facts. In the last 3 months, the police have suspected that a district is hosting what might be the heart of London medicinal black market. But of course, these suspicions will remain assumptions, not for no ask force or additional police presence that been sent to Whitechapel. No large drug stocks have been found. For no crime lords arrested. This masquerade has only been planned as a desperate attempt to conceal the blatant incompetence of London City Council's Board of Health by giving the populace a cheap and easy victory while the epidemic spreads more and more each day. Worst of all, when you take a time to review the most recent statistics, you discover that the district of Whitechapel is coping with the disease much better than other parts of the city. Is it a miracle? Evidence of the activity of a legal by efficient medical underground. More proof of the authorities' criminal incompetence. All I know is this: if a Londoner has a better chance to survive the epidemic by choosing to live in this godforsaken boroughs, I'm ready to move to any cheap infested flat. Some shady landlords will agree to rent me right now. Окей, допустим. The prices and stock of the merchant his discreet may have changed. Так, нам нужен, получается, 1 фатигу, 1 бронхитис. С головой пока да, я не работаю еще. Так, чё, мне заблочили управление. Это тоже с головой пока я не работаю. Допустим. Пассатиум перманганат нужно докупить. От сепсиса я пока не хочу крафтить, потому что слишком много требуется. Пассатиум перманганат можно купить.
Good evening. I'd like to...
Ты не продаешь прям то, что вот прям хочется, к сожалению. Есть еще один торгаш. Есть еще один торгаш. Только я что-то не совсем помню, как к нему добежать. А, все, вспомнил. Это ты.
Please show me what you have to sell. Of course.
Потасиум перманганат. Тихо. Туда пока я пройти не могу, да?
It's locked.
Не, шкафчики не обновляются, значит, да? Или некоторые обновляются все-таки? Не, некоторые обновляются шкафчики. А, эти, значит, не открывал. Нет, значит, они не обновляются. Вот, чисто по 2 штуки иметь на всякий случай. Так, что касается этого, одной плиты не хватает, да? Имею я уже 9 штук таких. Это не улучшается уже больше. Оружие на стан у меня есть, 15 стан. А, вот оно что. Будет 20 стан, но требуется 40 стамины, в отличие от 30 стамины, но будет наноситься немного больше. А это уже другое дело, кстати. Инкриз стамина будет 36 или же будет 23. Не, ну здесь бы я конкретно выбрал бы, чтобы стамина меньше жралась. Вот. Докупить еще 4 штуки. Ой, 3 штуки Tiny Common Handle Part. Tiny Command Handle Part 1 штука. $20. Прикиньте, 20. То есть это вампира вообще не переиграть, мне кажется.
Jonathan?
Words cannot describe the... Так.
Words cannot describe the emptiness.
I'm here for you, Jonathan. If you ever need to talk.
Could I ask you some delicate questions?
Ask, and I will answer if I choose.
There's so much I want to know. I mean, what? Where? Who?
Slow down, Jonathan. And please, not all questions should be answered.
Please tell me. Are you Lady Ashbury? Is that your real name?
Yes and no. I was born Elizabeth Samantha Mary Englewood. Out of pure vanity, I cannot tell you when I was born.
Where do you live?
I mean, you don't live here.
I have a house in London where I reside with my daughter.
A daughter? Is she,
No. Charlotte is a perfectly normal young lady. And if you must know, I adopted. Perhaps you'll meet her someday.
How do you live with the guilt?
I can't answer that, Jonathan. But we have to accept our nature. Nothing good can come of fighting who we are.
Ever killed the SQ and Dance?
Have you killed someone you've known?
Jonathan, have you forgotten what I do here? I need to meet the men and women I kill.
Have you ever killed family?
I will not answer that. In time, perhaps.
Tell me, why do you finance this hospital?
I'm lucky to be in a privileged position to help those less fortunate. Kindness takes the edge off the years.
If you'll forgive me, it seems a little hypocritical healing those that you may kill.
Jonathan, we are what we are, a paradox. Dead flesh with a lust for life.
And our Dr. Swansea? He's fine with this culling of patients.
Dr. Swansea is a man firmly rooted in the realities of the modern world. He understands what we're trying to achieve here.
I'll see you later.
Допустим. Так. Стоп, а квест где-то здесь, да? Я бы, знаете, что сделал? Сбегал бы сюда тогда. Надеюсь, без происшествий лишних будет. Мне бы хотелось закупиться всякой всячиной. И, кстати, это ж получается, что надо поменять вот этот кол на вот эту дубину, выходит. Убери это оружие. Тихо. Погнали так. То сейчас я пробегусь по торговцам, может что-нибудь получится выкупить. А, ну это я уже лутал. Да, я вспомнил это место, еще удивился, что тут какой-то аппендикс непонятный.
Piss off.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Nurse Crane? Yeah, I heard she's doing all right. Connected and protected.
Допустим.
Bye, young man.
Так, с этим болтать нет смысла, у него с головой пока проблемы. Так, что случилось? Алло. Что с игрой? Кто топает?
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Что случилось, а?
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I can't believe that people are naive enough to trust her medicine. She's just a shady nurse with good connections.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Где-то так, наверное, подкуплю. Ой, так. Если я побегу сюда... А с кем я буду торговаться, если я побегу сюда? Так, стоп, не надо, подождите. Что-то я не до конца понимаю. Там торгаш есть какой-то? Там торгаш какой-то есть, что ли? Или это дед, типа, торгаш?
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in. Yes?
Tell me everything.
Странно. Игра... Как бы... Ладно, неважно.
I don't know what you told her, what kind of deal you made, but Dorothea seems less anxious recently. Thank you for that, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Где-то здесь какой-то торговец нарисован. Может, это и есть сама вот эта Дороти Крейн? Стоп, это что такое? Letter to Nurse Crane, London, 31st October. My dear Dorothy, when you read this letter, I will be on the boat that will take it, Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I promise I'll light a candle in the black church and pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. I know that you don't agree with this decision and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrades exiled in the East End. But Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband. I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you would have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage this clinic of yours, but you that I'm live in England. Be assured that if anything would happen to you, if you ever were in great trouble of danger, I would come back immediately to London with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as think of you. I'm your affectionate sister, Theodora. Да, это она торгует, кстати.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed.
Good evening, nurse. How should I address you? Dorothy? Dorothea? Miss Crane?
Dorothy is all right. If you don't mind me calling you Jonathan.
That's fine with me.
What can I do for you then, Jonathan?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I don't know whether you have undertaken your own patrols or examinations, but local health seems stable.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
Do you have many patients?
A few, but most of them just pass through and go back home, especially since those vigilantes stormed the building on the night you were here.
Have there been any more attacks by the uniformed men?
No. It looks like they have found another business to extort.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
Так, стоп. Почему оно только цвет этот не пропадает? Ладно. Так, сейчас Life in London я спросил. Personal questions.
I hope you've stopped jeopardizing this facility with your illegal business, Dorothy.
Yes, I have. Most of the time. But the blackmail money is too useful to stop it completely. I just target less dangerous people.
Who is the current victim?
I would rather you did not know. You are my client, not my accomplice. Besides, I'm much more cautious since the first time you found me.
Why did you blackmail Lady Ashbury? She's a generous person. You could have asked her for money directly.
She killed those patients, I'm sure of that. I know you like her, but that gingerhead has a taste for blood.
Do you need medical help, Dorothy?
I'm a professional nurse. Rest assured, I'll ask for your help if I need it.
Are you not afraid of dying? The epidemic is deadly and very contagious.
I'm more afraid of being locked in a cell. I've seen what most hospitals do to the sick staff. They keep them hidden to avoid panic.
Do you trust me?
You forced me to resign after you caught me trying to save a dying patient. Of course I trust you. You're a blackmailer, just like me.
Tell me about yourself, Dorothy.
There is not much to say. My real name is Dorothea Crasciunescu. I was born in Romania, and I may have been the best nurse Pembroke ever had before you fired me.
Do you regret your time at Pembroke?
I miss the energy. There was so much to do, so much to learn. Even though I was double-crossing the board, I felt I was part of something worthwhile there.
Do you think about going back to Romania once the war is over and the epidemic here has been contained?
Jonathan, this war will be over long before you will see any improvement in Whitechapel's sanitary situation.
Show me what you have in stock, please.
Эта формула, написанная на куске бумаги, кажется 25, но давайте купим, хрен да нет. Турди Blood Sample. Давайте купим тоже. У нее, кстати, очень много всего есть. Надо будет это учесть в дальнейшем. Так, там кабинет закрыт, тут закрыто. Погнали тогда к тому челику, который является торгашом, которого рекетирует другой торгаш. Ой, другой не торгаш, а как-то чел, который является мускулами какой-то банды. Вот этот чел.
Something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I guess what she does for people makes it all right in the end.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody will be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
Так, допустим, хорошо.
Right then.
Трейд. Мне нужно 2 штуки вот этого вот. На данный момент пока что так. Вот это мне не особо надо, насколько я знаю.
You again? What do you want this time?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
She's doing good work. I saw her yesterday and told her she could call on me if she ever felt threatened. Do you know what I mean?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Так, стоп, секунду. Стоп, что?
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Even my
Он, кстати, воспользовался своими умениями, чтобы сюда войти. Не часто такое происходит. Потягуя. Не зря, кстати, скрафтил лишнюю. Ну, знаете, приходишь кому-то домой и начинаешь обчищать хату. Вот так вот. Там залазишь во всякие ящики, там еще какая-то хуйня, он шиллинги воруешь, хрен ли нет, как говорится. И в этой игре тебе никто ничего не скажет. If you ever suspect someone to be a vampire, don't try to kill it yourself. You have to change it instead. Contact me if you try to form a professional vampire killer. These men and women are rare, but they know what to do against these evil creatures. If even seems that some of them are working together under the name of the God of Private, a paramilitary organization dedicated to the eradication of the vampire in London. They are your friends. You are not alone. Solutions exist. Be smart. Spread the word. Clarence closely. For more information, please contact me directly. Так, ладно, погнали с ним тогда поговорим.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing, and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Так, окей, хорошо. Хорошо. Это Life in London. А ну-ка.
Have you any recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I don't believe in miracles, but it seems the epidemic has been kept at bay for a few days.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Угу, окей, хорошо.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Так, стоп, секунду. Секунду. Фатигуя, 2 фатигуя. И бронхитис.
So,
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
Так, гиф медицина.
Feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Goodbye, young.
Так, погнали отсюда.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Так, теперь вроде бы, если подойти сюда, тут будет... А где мне увидеть Кристину? Где мне увидеть? А, вот Кристина и отец.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
That woman is a saint. She's living proof that a strong will is sometimes all you need to make a difference.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Отлично. Ее, получается, с ней поговорили, ее вылечили. Ее вылечили. Теперь нужно вернуться. Так, с этим пацанчиком мы тоже поговорили, дали ему лекарства. Нужно вернуться, побежать по прямой. И забежать опять к деду. Я забыл, что именно у него. Так, этот по помойкам шается, но пока ему помочь не могу. Вот эта дверь.
Hello.
Yes? Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor? It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Так, смотрите, какая ситуация. Смотрите, какая ситуация. Так, давайте выйдем сейчас. Таким образом, рекаверинг. Остался только один чел с мигренями, но тут мне уже сложно что-то помогать. Пока что. Итак, погнали тогда... Погнали тогда обратно, что ли? Вот, и сейчас тогда дойдем до личного кабинета своего. Так, что с игрой? Не понял. Вот, дойдем до своего личного кабинета и, соответственно, там изучим две формулы вроде, которые мы должны... Которые мы выкупили и должны изучить, соответственно. Но это, знаете, это так. На всякий. Вот и как раз-таки мигрень вроде была точно. Так, стоп, у кого там проблемы с головой? Давайте еще раз глянем. Хэдаш был у Освальда Тэтчера. А где его искать, я не знаю. Ну, давайте... Так, значит, Хэдаш нужно скрафтить один. Все. Один Хэдаш. Потом, соответственно, здесь это мигрень я уже скрафтил, потому что помню. А тут фатигуя. Допустим. Стоп, секунду. Теперь здесь. Здесь пока все плохо. Смотрите, какая ситуация. Если я сейчас потрачу, не смогу потом скрафтить вот эту штуку. Стоп, тут написано Common Handle Part 9 штук, а нужно 6. А здесь написано, что Tiny Common Handle Part. Там Common Handle Part, а тут Tiny Common. Все, нормально, значит. А, 25. Оно так по 4 будет, то есть было 40, потом будет 30, было 36, 32, соответственно 28 и 24, если все прям прокачать. Это будет типа 35 дома. Да не знаю, кстати, что нет-то. А что нет? И так, кстати, маловато немножко стамины в таком случае. Вот. Ну, неплохо, окей, допустим. Сейчас тогда с ним хочу еще поговорить. А, то есть нет оружия, которое я мог бы ему продать, да? Ладно, окей, тогда. Нас отправляют в новый район, тем не менее, это Стоунбридж. Да, Стоунбридж называется этот район. Что к чему? Что к чему? Давайте тогда пока что на этом все, дамы и господа, закончим. То есть здесь мы, в принципе, побегали... Стоп, секунду. Мигрени. Стоп, вот с ними надо поговорить, мы ж нашли его брата. Вот, пока что не все. Надо закончить это дело уже. Да ладно, серьезно, что ли?
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Так, давайте с ним тогда поговорим.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in despite my claustrophobia.
Нет, это не брат. Это не брат, точно.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in White Coast to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested in my case.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child. The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking? I grew up on a farm, had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Ай, блять, ну ладно, похуй. Стоп, подожди, какой goodbye? Какой goodbye, подожди.
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I'm certain you have your reasons, but let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors you may have consulted with.
It is true. You risked your life to save me, after all. It would be impolite to refuse your counsel.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself. Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack.
Что-то с этими...
I was trapped for 2 days in a hole
с
under 2 dead
озвучкой
soldiers.
субтитров такое. Точнее, наоборот.
And there were rats.
С диалогами и субтитрами что-то не то.
Gnawing at my ears, with fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Допустим, окей, хорошо.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
We fought for England, but England won't fight for us.
Так, еще к чему? Этот на рекаверинге, и тут нужно, получается, вот к этому челу вернуться.
Hey, Doc.
Так, теперь нужно опять вернуться в тот район. Быстренько. Сейчас отдадим лекарство тогда вот этому челу, который стрелял. И на этом пока что завершим стрим. Так, ну в целом, кстати, за сегодня неплохо так побегали. Немножко сюжета, безусловно. Получилось внимать. Вот. Да и в целом, немножко прокачали себя. Это тоже замечательно. Так, где он там по мусоркам ковыряется? Вот он.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I visited her dispensary recently. If I'd heard about it sooner, it would have made life easier.
don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
I can try to help your body heal, sir, but you must stop destroying it.
The war destroyed me, Doctor.
А ачивка называется «Клятва Гиппократа», которую мне сейчас выдали. Так, это уже было. Так, и таким образом, получается, смотрите, какая ситуация. Все, кто болел, они на данный момент здоровы как таковые. Появились некоторые доп-квесты, но сейчас не про них. Так, сейчас. Да. Надо буквально сейчас ночь переждать, и они все выздоровеют, и будет нормально. Вот, тем не менее, появились доп-квесты в этом районе. В этом районе их нет. Точнее, он появился, но я его выполнил, несмотря на него. Вот, и нужно будет тогда выполнить вот эти два квеста, это уже в следующий раз. Сейчас, если, например, я выберу... Давайте так, чтобы, коль быстрее, например, вот насчет них. Доп-квест будет находиться здесь. Ладно, тогда я, по сути, сейчас останусь тогда в этом районе. В плане того, что не буду никуда уходить в другое место. И пока что на этом завершу трансляцию. Тем не менее, всем спасибо за стрим, дамы и господа, за внимание. И что тогда? Подписывайтесь на канал. И всем удачи, всем пока-пока. До следующего стрима. То бишь, до завтра. Да.